should win the 2024 Royal Rumble? We're gonna go through our predictions of who's got a decent shot of winning this thing, both the men and the women's side. Plus, we're gonna look at some of the names that, well, they got potential, but I don't know if they're going to be able to pull it off. First name on the list is going to be Bayley. Now, Bayley is going through this whole thing with damage control. I really think that there is a strong story for Bayley and a good case being made that Bayley should win the Royal Rumble and go on to WrestleMania and fight Io Sky. They're taking their time with this story with her. They're not just going to have all of damage control and the Kabuki Warriors turn on Bayley in a week. It's not the Vince McMahon era anymore, ladies and gentlemen, but I think they're taking their time. They're gonna roll with this at a slow pace. It'd be interesting to see if they can turn Bayley into a pure babyface again and then have her go up against Io and win the women's championship. Now, a name that I think we're gonna see return to WWE at the Royal Rumble is Liv Morgan. Liv has been off for quite some time now. Coming back to the Rumble is a perfect opportunity to showcase her. I don't see Liv winning the Royal Rumble though. I think she could be in the women's Rumble. I think she could be like Final 4, Final 6. It'll be interesting to see what they do with Liv coming out of the Royal Rumble, going into WrestleMania. Is there going to be an opportunity for her to get into Elimination Chamber? If they're going to do that on the SmackDown side, I'm not too sure, but I don't see Liv winning the Rumble. There's no baked in story there for her to go after either Rhea Ripley or go after Io Sky, assuming Io is going to stay champion. Okay, on the men's side, one name that has a good shot, but I don't think it's gonna happen. Randy Orton. Randy made his big return at Survivor Series. He's just gigantic mountain of a man at this point. I love to see Randy make it into the finals, but I know that he's going into the Fatal 4-Way with Roman and LA Knight and AJ Styles, and they're doing that whole thing. I wonder if they're even gonna be in the Royal Rumble since they're gonna have a Fatal 4-Way. So I'd like to see Randy make it into the finals. Having him win would certainly be interesting because I think it's a way to tell the story between Roman, Randy never really going at it, at least this iteration with the Tribal Chief. Randy finally doing what he said he was going to do, which was like go after the bloodline for taking him out for so long. You can maybe try to insert Cody some way and make it like a triple threat. They always like to do their triple threat matches. In fact, I think there was some statistic or whatever that every 10 years of WrestleMania, it's been a triple threat match for the main event. Randy, I totally see making it into the Royal Rumble despite the match and maybe even losing, but his whole motivation is going after Roman Reigns. So chance that he's gonna win the Royal Rumble, I think, is a little slim right now. Okay, one name that I think really has a really good shot of winning this thing on the women's side, Becky Lynch. I think Becky has had a tremendous 2023, having the feud with Trish Stratus, going to NXT, winning the championship there, putting over younger talent. Her No Mercy match against Tiffany Stratton was awesome. And they haven't been doing it where they're making it super obvious who's winning the Royal Rumble this year. And on the women's side with Becky, I feel like she's kind of like a shoe-in to win this thing. There are a few other names, but with Becky, you know, she's got the feud with Nia Jax right now. I think that they are going to go head-to-head in the Royal Rumble. I would like to see Trish Stratus come back in the Royal Rumble match and have that confrontation, that face-to-face with Trish once again. Maybe even return Lita into the Royal Rumble, and then Lita can finally get the revenge on Trish. Lita was taken out by Trish. That was the whole start to all this. We never saw Lita ever again. So I like to see Lita come back in the Rumble too, and maybe tag up with Becky in the Royal Rumble match itself, and then they could take out Trish Stratus and do that. Becky Lynch, though, is kind of my main pick to win the women's Royal Rumble match, and she could go off and fight Rhea Ripley. The question mark there would be, does Becky win the belt, win the World Heavyweight Championship at WrestleMania against Rhea Ripley? Comment below what do you think, but for me, I think you keep the belt on Rhea. Becky's at a stage in her life and stage in her career. She doesn't need the championship. She's getting to that point now where it's kind of like above title. So I'd love it if they could get Becky to main event. That's like one of the biggest names in WWE. And then you have her lose to Rhea so that you elevate Rhea even more. Another name on the men's side, I don't know is gonna have a chance to win, AJ Styles. Now AJ returned kind of like Randy Orton. He came back and he's like double his size, and it's awesome to see. And once again, he's in that Fatal 4-Way at the Royal Rumble. I don't see anybody beating the Tribal Chief at the Royal Rumble, unfortunately. AJ could still enter into the Royal Rumble much like Randy Orton. They could even go back, they can have that moment where in the Rumble, it's like the fallout from their Fatal 4-Way, and those guys and LA Knight are in the Fatal 4-Way, they're in the Royal Rumble, and then they could kind of square off in the match too, maybe even cost each other an elimination. AJ's in an interesting position, I find, like most years, where he doesn't have a lot going on. Like, he's not with the OC, he's doing his own thing. I like what they're doing with him, but I don't know what you do with AJ if he's not winning the Royal Rumble. You could have AJ win the Rumble and then go over and fight for the World Heavyweight Championship against Seth, but there is another name that I think is probably gonna win that thing. Now, another name that we haven't seen yet, somebody that hasn't even appeared, debuted, Jade Cargill. I think the Rumble is Jade's debut. And the reason why is because Jade is in the Performance Center, figuring it out, working matches in there, training, getting ready, and WWE is being very strategic in how they're going to use her, how they're going to debut her. I think having her come out to the Rumble is a great way to kickstart her career. You got all the eyeballs on her. It's a stadium show. It's going to be a huge pop to see her come out and get into the Rumble match. Also, you can protect her because she's not in a traditional match to kick things off. You can give her a good showing in the Rumble, but she's not necessarily going to win. Could Jade Cargill win the Rumble though in her debut? It'd be a hell of a story to be able to have her do that. And if Jade did win, I would really see her going over to Monday Night Raw and challenging Rhea Ripley. They could do that story. And you could have Jade win the Women's Royal Rumble, shock everybody that in her debut, she dominates, she throws out Nia Jax, she throws out Becky, and people are shocked by it, and then you have her declare that she's gonna go and fight Rhea. It would be cool to see Rhea versus Jade because Rhea hasn't had any long-term feuds, and she hasn't had anybody that's really stepped up to her level. Becky's the only other one, Bianca Belair as well, that could really be toe-to-toe, but she hasn't had a long feud where you feel like anyone's really threatening Rhea. So Jade winning makes it really interesting where Rhea can almost act a little bit nervous and scared that Jade's coming for her. Jade Cargill is a possibility in my eyes. Now, I mentioned Bianca Belair. I don't know what you do with Bianca, to be honest. She was doing things with Charlotte. Charlotte got injured. I feel like at any moment you could flip the switch and you could have Bianca going for the title. Now, I would like to see Bianca win so that she can go and fight Rhea. The story with the Women's Championship on SmackDown, I don't feel it really fits Bianca right now. She doesn't need it. In a short amount of time, Bianca's kind of risen above titles. So she could have just like a one-on-one match. She could do something like the debut of Jade Cargill, the two of them kind of team up during the Royal Rumble. Maybe we end up with some sort of tag team match where it's going to be Bianca and you're going to have Jade teaming up. They could take on the women's tag team champions. Like, they could do something like that if they want to go in that direction. Gives Bianca a win at WrestleMania. She's going to be there. I just don't see how you're going to get Bianca to win and then just fight Io, for example. A match with Rhea, I just love to see it. But I don't even feel in that scenario Bianca needs the belt. Okay, so what about one of the biggest names? CM Punk. Great promo with him and Drew on Monday Night Raw. Really sets the table. Punk declaring that he is going to be in the Royal Rumble match. He's said it multiple times now where he's going to the Rumble, he's going to win the thing, and that's it, and he's going to main event WrestleMania. Now in storyline, if you're Punk, do you win the thing and go after Roman Reigns? Or do you go after Seth Rollins? You could have Punk win. And if you have CM Punk win and come in at number 29 or something like that, so he's not going to be in the Rumble for a long period of time, you could have Punk show up late into the Rumble and he could win. The problem is, who does he eliminate? Because Cody Rhodes is obviously someone we're going to talk about in a second, and you can't have Punk eliminate Cody, nor can you have Cody eliminate Punk because you got two of the giant baby faces in that match. That's going to be a problem. I think, honestly, Punk does not win the Royal Rumble. I've thought for so long that I'm like, oh, it totally works. Have Punk win the Royal Rumble, go fight Seth, off they go. They could do it, but I think based on how things are shaping out, The Rock coming back, you really could just have a moment where Punk gets eliminated by Drew because they're putting those pieces together where the two of them are butting heads. And I think you give heel evil Drew that little victory over CM Punk. and you have Drew eliminate Punk being distracted, you claymore him over the top rope, and it ruins Punk's chances of winning. So then the two of them can go and have a feud on TV after the Royal Rumble. Now, if you don't have Punk win the Royal Rumble, how does he get to WrestleMania? How does he, in theory, fight Seth Rollins and do all that? That's where I think Elimination Chamber comes in. So if Punk does not win the Rumble, and I'm thinking now he does not, Punk can have a TV feud, a TV program with Drew primarily, and then it would set up Elimination Chamber for the #1 contendership to go after Seth Rollins at WrestleMania. And in that match, you could have the likes of Drew McIntyre, CM Punk. You could put in like Damian Priest because he's got the briefcase, so you put him in the match. Jey Uso, again, because he's been going after the World Heavyweight Championship, or he's had the match with Seth on Raw. Sami Zayn, if he returns as well at the Royal Rumble. And a final slot could be Nakamura. That way, and this is now Elimination Chamber predictions, but then that way, Punk can enter the chamber second to last or something. He can actually beat Drew McIntyre in the Elimination Chamber, and Punk then goes to WrestleMania. So that would leave one of my predictions to be that Cody Rhodes has probably the best shot then in this scenario to win the Royal Rumble. It's all about how they do it, because you can't just have, once again, Cody entering at the very end, fighting Gunther or whatever, and just fighting a heel and eliminating them, and Cody just wins it traditional way once again. Something different needs to happen if Cody is the one who's going to win. I predict that he is ultimately going to win, and he is going to fight Roman Reigns night 2 main event. That is happening. Again, it can't just be, to me, it can't just be a regular elimination inside the Royal Rumble and Cody just wins, pyro, we're done. They could do that, but to me that's a little boring. Maybe it's going to be that Punk and Cody are actually teetering to fall out of the ring. But again, you don't want to have it so that two baby faces are competing there at the very end. It might be Nakamura, Drew McIntyre trying to take out Cody Rhodes, and then it ends up with Cody winning. But something interesting needs to happen with that finish to not make it so predictable and make it feel like they're just handing it to Cody. I also think that there is a very good chance you put Cody in at #1 in the Royal Rumble. And that way he goes through all the adversity of going all the way to the end and winning it. And that is how you put up those blocks for Cody Rhodes, so that it's not just handed to him, he enters number 30 and wins, but you're going to have it so that he goes in at #1 and he goes all the way to the very end. The biggest question I have is, what are your Rumble predictions? And if you guys enjoy videos like this, doing predictions, all this fun stuff for WWE, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button on this video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Also, by the way, if you want, click this video right here, because we're talking about Tony Khan and well, everything about that man, of what was been going on in the last couple of days. Have a good day. See ya.